always been those companies that will say for fill in the blank number of dollars, we'll find you fill in the blank number of financial aid dollars. And we always tell families, if you receive an offer that says, please pay us to help you get money, be very cautious. Do some checking. Make sure this organization is got a Better Business Bureau rating, those kind of things. Because there are people who do on a fly-by-night kind of basis say, if you come to this seminar and give us your credit card number, we'll take it from there. And typically what's taken is the credit card number and some fee, and that's the end of it.
So the biggest scam would be the upfront fee. I guess that's really so they just get it and take off, and that's the end of the story.
Right.
There's also firms that charge to fill out the FAFSA, and what I always tell people is the first word of FAFSA is free. So no one should ever have to pay anyone to fill out it's the free application for federal student aid.
It's not that complicated, I'm assuming.
It's not that complicated, but sometimes families just feel like, oh, I just want somebody else to fill it out, but it's certainly not necessary.
What about admission application scams? Are there any scams with reference to, give me some upfront money and I'll help guide you to the right school or that kind of thing? Have you heard of anything like that?
Well, I wouldn't refer to it as application scam. There are certainly people in my business that are probably not as scrupulous as others of us would like them to be. But I think that families need to do a little bit of homework before, as they should in with any big purchase, and find out exactly what they're looking at and what's involved. But no, you shouldn't. There are certainly consultants out there, and that makes good sense, but there are definitely people out there that are overcharging for some services as well.
In my research, I came across college essay services. Okay, to me it sounds like Cliff Notes. Okay, or there used to be services that would prepare a master's paper for you or a doctoral thesis for you, and I'm assuming that the same papers must surface from time to time, same essays must surface from time to time. Have you heard of that?
Yeah, I've heard of that from admissions offices, and what happens when you have the same essay as the student next to you.
The same essay.
Same essay. Trust me, both students will get flat out rejected without any opportunity to redeem themselves. It's sort of the biggest no-no. I mean, the idea of the college but the idea of the college application is to provide some insight into who the student is, and so what kind of a person are they. And so if your first introduction is that you're plagiarizing and paying someone else to write an essay, doesn't come across real well. So,
what about online colleges? There's a lot of online colleges surfacing because everybody's using the internet. I know there are even master's and doctorate degrees offered online. Do they have any credibility? Do employers recognize these degrees?
I think it's a buyer beware kind of environment with something like that. I think, so that's not a blanket statement that they're all bad, but I think, again, students or anyone else, parents really need to do their homework. They really need to ask, who are the companies that are coming to recruit these students? What kinds of corporations are hiring? And what is the median income after graduation? Those kinds of things. But I think I think you need to really be certain.
I would assume a good human resource officer of a company would actually know and see that these online colleges, some of them are not reputable. I've actually even seen you can buy a doctorate degree online for $350.
Right.
They send you a diploma and that's it.
Well, the key factor also is if it's an online institution, who accredits them?
Right. Exactly.
What agency has accredited this institution? And if you can't get an accreditation agency attached to that institution, you would say, I don't know that I want to go there.
Right.
What agencies do accredit colleges?
Oh, there's national.
There are national, there are
Well,
regional.
what are the most credible ones that do it?
In the Southeast, it would be the Southern Association of Colleges, and it's SACAC.
Oh, okay. Call it. Well,
No, I'm sorry. Let me.
it's not SACAC that accredits, though.
It's the accrediting agency is Southern Association of Colleges and Schools, SACS.
Okay.
Okay.
That's the regional accreditator for almost all the colleges and even secondary schools here in the Southeast. Then there's New England
Sure.
accrediting, there's Midwest, and then for some of the proprietary for-profit schools, there are national accreditors. And the national accreditors are recognized by the U.S. Department of Education as having the authority to accredit that type of school. But a student should always look at who accredits that school before they sign up, either whether it's a brick-and-mortar campus or an online.
So anybody can have an online school, but not necessarily accredited, so the
Correct.
diploma and the degree means absolutely nothing.
Right.
Okay, Lee, before applying, how extensive should schools be investigated? And I guess pretty much that answers it. Accreditation really is the whole key to these schools.
Certainly for those kinds of schools. I mean, certainly any,
any
school
kind of
that's
school, any
right.
kind
But
of
I
school.
mean, any school that's in any of the guidebooks and has been around is certainly going to be accredited for the most part.
I guess for David and for Lee, we could just ask this question. We might have to wrap up with this one. But for high school students, can the application process begin in high school? Financial aid process begin in high school?
The financial aid process for a high school senior would begin during that second semester of their senior year. Anytime after January 1 of their senior year, they would start applying for financial aid for the upcoming year that starts that fall.
So you don't have to be admitted into a college in order to apply for the financial
No, you
aid.
can start applying for financial aid before you have your admission decision. But you would not want to apply for financial aid at a school where you're also not applying for admission. Because we're going to match up the aid application with the admission application, and if we see that this is a student who's asking about finances but isn't asking about coming to our school, we wouldn't work with that information. So there's always the need to be both an admission applicant and a financial aid applicant for us to be able to work with it.
And what is the earliest that a student can apply to a college?
Many of the applications come out over the summer, and so I encourage students I work with to do as much of the work over the summer, preparing their essays, brainstorming the essays, editing them, getting their information sheets and resumes in order, so that they have an easier time inputting all of their activities and things into the application.
When you say the summer, this is at the end of the junior year?
Exactly,
Okay.
but summer before their senior year. And the early action applications for many schools are due anywhere between October 15th and December 1st. Regular decision deadlines are usually somewhere mid-December through the beginning of February. And
Okay.
so that helps.
Well, we're going to have to wrap it up. And Lee, can you just tell us a little bit about what your company does, just very briefly? Just have a few seconds left, actually, because you have a private firm that helps with the
Sure.
admissions process.
Sure. The company name is College Admission Strategies, and I help families navigate the college admissions process, and I work with them on an individual, it's all one-on-one personalized service, and we work in the three areas that we discussed: the college identification selection, application strategy, and scholarship search. And I also write the weekly column for the Charlotte Observer every Tuesday called Countdown to College.
Right. And David, you are with Davidson,
Davidson College?
and you just are a financial aid officer. You must be a very well-liked guy on campus.
I'm the director of financial aid there, and I think as soon as they figure out who I am, yes. The students, as they come to learn me, I hope they will see me as an advocate.
Well, certainly knowledgeable, and I thank both of you very much for coming today and sharing this information. And this is such a complicated process, we may even have to have you come back for another session.
Sounds great.
Well, thank you very much for coming. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.